Shalom, everybody. We're back again. We're in the book of Joshua, chapter 27, in the Bible of the Sefer. Today is August 5th, 2023, and it reads as thus. And Esau at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went into the field to hunt. And Nimrod, king of Babel, the same was Amphiraphel, and Raphael also frequently went with his mighty men to hunt in the field, and to walk about with his men in the cool of the day. And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for a jealousy sorry. And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all the days. And on a certain day, Esau went in the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his two men. And all his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness. But they removed at a distance from him, and they went from him in different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself from Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness. And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day to know where his men were hunting in the fields. And Nimrod and two of his men that were with him came to the place where they were. When Esau started suddenly from his lurking place and drew his sword and hastened and ran to Nimrod and cut off his head. And Esau fought a desperate fight with the two men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them and smote them to death with his sword. And all the mighty men of Nimrod who had left him to go to the wilderness heard the cry at a distance, and they knew the voices of those two men, and they ran to know the cause of it. When they found their king and the two men that were with him lying dead in the wilderness, and when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled and thereby escaped. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father had bequeathed to Nimrod, and with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land. And he ran and concealed them in his house. And Esau took those garments and ran into the city on account of Nimrod's men. And he came into his father's house, wearied, exhausted from fight, and he was ready to die through grief when he approached his brother Yaakov, who is, are you following me? To cover the death of Nimrod and all the house of Nimrod. What is Yaakov? Is that Esau? Then Yaakov acted wisely with Esau in this matter, and Esau sold his birthright to Yaakov, for it was so brought about by Yahuwah. It was so brought about by Yahuwah. And Esau's portion in the cave of the field of Mechlavah, which Abraham had bought from the children of Cheth for the possession of a burial ground, Esau also sold to Yaakov, and Yaakov brought all this from his brother Esau for the value given. And Yaakov wrote the whole of this in the Sefer, and he tested the same with witnesses, and he sealed it. And the Sefer remained in the hands of Yaakov. And when Nimrod, the son of Cush, died, his men lifted him up and brought him in the consternation and buried him in his city. And all the days that Nimrod lived were 250 years, and he died. And the days that Nimrod reigned upon the people of the land were 185 years. 185 years. And Nimrod died by the sword of Esau in shame and contempt. And the seed of Abraham caused his death as he had seen in his dream. And at the death of Nimrod, his kingdom became divided into many divisions, and all those parts that Nimrod reigned over were restored to the respective kings of the land, who recovered them after the death of Nimrod. And all the people of the house of Nimrod was for a long time enslaved to all the other kings of that land. And in those days, chapter 28, and in those days after the death of Abraham, in that year, Yahuwah brought a heavy famine in the land. And while the famine was raging in the land of Canaan, Yitzhak, Yakasha rose up to go down Isaac. And in those days, Isaac rose up to go down to Egypt on account of the famine, and as his father Abraham had done. And Yahuwah appeared that night to, let's see, where are we? We're verse 2, Isaac. Okay. And Yahuwah appeared that night to Isaac. And he said to him, do not go down to Egypt, but rise and go to Gerar, to Amalek, king of the Philistines, and remain there till the famine shall cease. And Isaac rose up, went to Gerar, as Yahuwah commanded him, and he remained there a full year. And when Isaac came to Gerar, the people of the land saw that Rachel, his woman, was of a beautiful appearance, and the people of Gerar asked Isaac concerning his woman, and he said, she is my sister. For he was afraid to say she was his woman, lest the people of the land should slay him on account of her. And the princes of Amalek went and praised the woman to the king, but he answered them not, neither did he attend to their words. But she heard, but he heard them say that Isaac declared her to be his sister. So the king reserved this within himself. And when Isaac had remained 3 months in the land, Amalek looked out the window and he saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rachel, his woman. For Isaac dwelled in the outer house belonging to the king, so that the house of Isaac was opposite the house of the king. And the king said to Isaac, what is this you have done to us in saying of your woman, she is that my sister? How easily might one of the great men of the people have lain with her, and you would have been brought guilt upon us. And Isaac said unto him, Amalek, because I was afraid lest I die on account of my woman, therefore I said, she is my sister. And at that time, Amalek gave orders to all his princes and great men, and they took Isaac and Rachel, his woman, and brought them before the king. And the king commanded that they should dress them in princely garments and make them ride through the streets of the city and proclaim before them throughout the land, saying, this is the man, this is his woman. Whosoever touches this man or his woman shall surely die. And Isaac returned with his woman to the king's house. And Yahuwah was with Isaac, and he continued to wax great and lack nothing. And Yahuwah caused Isaac to find favor in the sight of Amalek and in the sight of all his subjects. And Amalek acted well with Isaac. For Amalek remembered the oath and the covenant that existed between his father and Abraham. And Amalek said unto Isaac, behold, the whole earth is before you. Dwell wherever it may seem good in your sight until you have returned to your land. And Amalek gave Isaac fields and vineyards in the best part of the land of Gerar, to sow and reap and eat the fruits of the ground until the days of famine shall have passed by. And Isaac sowed in that field and received 100-fold in the same year. And Yahuwah blessed him. And the man waxed great, and he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and great store of servants. And when the days of the famine had passed away, Yahuwah appeared to Isaac and said unto him, Rise up, go forth from the place, and return to your land, to the land of Canaan. And Isaac rose up and returned to Shebron, which is in the land of Canaan, and he and all belonging to him, as Yahuwah commanded him. And after this, Shalach, the son of Akpashed, died in that year, when in the 18th year of the lives of Isaac, Jacob, Jacob and Esau, and all the days that Shalach lived were 433 years, and he died. And at that time, Isaac sent his younger son, Yaakov, to the house of Shem and Eber, and he learned the instructions of Yahuwah. And Yaakov remained in the house of Shem and Eber for 32 years, and Isaac his brother did not go, for he was not willing to go. And he remained in his father's house in the land of Canaan. And Isaac was continually hunting in the fields to bring home what he could get. So did Isaac all the days. And Esau was designing and deceitful man who hunted after the hearts of men and inveigled them. And Esau was a valiant man in the field, and in the course of time went as usual to hunt. And he came as far as the field of Shanir, the same as Edom. And he remained in the land of Shanir, hunting in the field as a field a year and 4 months. And Esau there saw in the land of Shanir the daughter of a man of Canaan, and her name was Yehudith, and the daughter of Beeri, son of Epher, from the family of Sheth, the son of Canaan. And Esau took her for a woman, and he came unto her. 40 years old was Esau when he took her, and he brought her to Chevron, the land of his father's dwelling place, and he dwelled there. And it came to pass in those days, in 110th year of the life of Yaakov, that is in the 50th year of the life of Yaakov. In that year died Shem, the son of Noah. Shem was 600 years old at his death. And when Shem died, Yaakov returned to his father to Chevron, which is in the land of Canaan. And in the 56th year of the life of Yaakov, people came from Haran, and Rachel was told concerning her brother Laban, the son of Benuel. For the woman of the Laban was barren in those days, and bore no children, and also all his handmaids bore none to him. And Yahuwah afterwards remembered Adinah, the woman of Laban, and she conceived and bore twin daughters. And Laban called the names of his daughters the name of the elder Leah, and the name of the younger Rachel. And those people came and told these things to Rachel. And Rachel rejoiced greatly that Yahuwah had visited her brother and that he had got children. Chapter 29. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, became old and advanced in days, and his eyes became heavy through age, and they were dim and could not see. And at that time, Isaac called unto Esau his son, saying, Get, I pray you, your weapons, your quiver and your bow. Rise up and go forth into the field and get me some venison and make me savory meat and bring it to me, that I may eat in order that I may bless you before my death, as I have now become old and gray-headed. And Esau did so, and he took his weapon and went forth into the field to hunt for venison, as usual, to bring his father as he had ordered him, so that he might bless him. And Rachel heard all the words that Isaac spoke unto Esau. And thus did I hear. Now therefore hasten you and make that which I shall tell you. Rise up and go, I pray you, to the flock and fetch me two fine kids of the goats, and I will get the savory meat for your father, and you shall bring the savory meat that he may eat before your brother shall have come from the chase, in order that your father may bless you. And Jacob, I will stop saying Yaakov because I don't know how to pronounce that name, Jacob. And Jacob hastened and did as his father had commanded him. And he made the savory meat and brought it before his father before Esau had come from his chase. And Isaac said unto Jacob, who are you, my son? And he said, I am your firstborn, Esau, and I have done as you did order, order me. Now therefore rise up, I pray you, and eat of my hunt, in order that your soul may bless me as you did speak unto me. And Jacob rose up, no, Isaac. And Isaac rose up, and he ate and he drank, and his heart was comforted, and he blessed Jacob. And Jacob went away from his father. And as soon as Isaac had blessed Jacob, and he had gone away from him, behold, Esau came from his hunt from the field, and also made savory meat, and brought it to his father to eat thereof, and to bless him. And Isaac said unto Esau, who was he that had taken venison and brought it me before you came, and whom I did bless? And Esau knew that his brother Jacob had done this. And the anger of Esau was kindled against his brother. And Jacob, that he had acted thus toward him. And Esau said, is he not rightly called Jacob? For he has supplanted me twice. He took away my birthright, and now he has taken away my blessing. And Esau wept greatly. And when Isaac heard the voice of his son Esau weeping, Isaac said unto Esau, what can I do, my son? And your brother came with subtlety and took away your blessing. And Esau hated his brother Jacob on account of the blessing and that his father had given him. And his anger was greatly roused against him. And Jacob was very much afraid of his brother Esau. And he rose up and fled to the house of Eber, the son of Shem, and he concealed himself there on account of his brother. And Jacob was 63 years old when he went forth from the land of Canaan and from Chevron. And Jacob was concealed in Eber's house 14 years on account of his brother Esau. And he there continued to learn the ways of Yahuwah and his commandments. And when Esau saw that Jacob had fled and escaped from him, and that Jacob had cunningly obtained the blessing, then Esau grieved exceedingly, and he was also vexed at his father and mother. And he also rose up and took his woman and went away from his father and mother to the land of Shinar. And he dwelt there. And Esau saw there a woman from amongst the daughters of Seth, whose name was Basmath, the daughter of Elon and Chittim, and he took her for a woman in addition to his first woman, and Esau called her name Adah, saying the blessing had in that time blessed him, saying the blessing had in that time passed from him. And Esau dwelled in the land of Shinar 6 months without seeing his father and mother, Sair. Not Shinar, but Sair. See, it's spelled different. Sair in the Sefer book is spelled in Hebrew. Sair, and 6 months without seeing his father and mother. And afterwards Esau took his woman and rose up and returned to the land of Canaan. And Esau placed his two women in his father's house in Chevron. And the woman of Esau vexed and provoked Isaac and Rachel with their works, for they walked not in the ways of Yahuwah, but served their fathers Elohim of wood and stone as their father had taught them. And they were more wicked than their father. And they went according to the evil desires of their hearts. And they sacrificed and burnt incense to the Baalim, Baal, and Isaac and Rachel became weary of them. And Rachel said, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Sheth. And if Jacob take a woman of the daughter of Cheth, such as these, which are of the daughters of the land, what good is my life unto me? And in those days Adah, the woman of Esau, conceived and bore him a son. And Esau called him the name of the son that was born unto him, Eliphaz. And Esau was 65 years old when she bore him. And Ishmael, Ishmael, the son of Abraham, died in those days. And in the 64th year of the life of Jacob, and all the days that Ishmael lived were 137 years, and he died. And when Isaac heard that Ishmael was dead, he mourned for him, and Isaac lamented over him many days. And at the end of 14 years of Isaac residing in the house of Eber, Isaac desired to see his father and mother. And Isaac came to the house of his father and mother to Chevron. And Esau had in those days forgotten that Jacob had done to him, and having taken the blessing from him in those days. And when Esau saw Jacob coming to his father and mother, he remembered that Jacob had done to him, and he was greatly incensed against him, and he sought to slay him. And Esau, no, Isaac, the son of Abraham, was old and advanced in those in days. And Esau said, now my father's time is drawing nigh that he must die. And when he shall die, I will slay my brother Jacob. Mhm. And this was told to Rachel, and she hastened and sent and called for Jacob her son. And she said unto him, arise, go, and flee to Haran to my brother Laban, and remain there for some time until your brother anger he turn from you, till your brother's anger be turned from you, and then shall you come back. And Isaac Isaac called unto Jacob and said unto him, take not a woman from the daughters of Canaan, for thus did our fathers Abraham command us, according to the word of Yahuwah, which he had commanded him, saying, unto your seed will I give this land, and if your children guard my covenant that I have made with you, then will I also perform to your children that which I have spoken unto you, and I will not forsake them. Now therefore, my son, hearken to my voice, to all that I shall command you, and refrain from taking a woman from amongst the daughters of Canaan. I want to stop right there for a minute and jump in and say, see, this is why Some generations are blessed and some generations are cursed because we do the opposite of what God tells us to do, and we curse ourselves and our generations of the next generations to come. Now, therefore, my son, hearken unto my voice to all that I shall command you, and refrain from taking a woman from amongst the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Haran, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take unto you a woman from there, from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. Therefore take heed lest you shall forget Yahuwah Elahaka and all his ways in the land to which you go, and shall get connected with the people of the land, and pursue vanity, and forsake Yahuwah Elahaka. But when you come to the land to serve there, Yahuwah, do not turn to the right or to the left from the way which I commanded you, and which you did learn. And may El Shaddai grant you favor in the sight of the people of the earth, and that you take there a woman according to your choice, one who is good and upright in the ways of Yahuwah. And may Elohim give unto you and your seed the blessings of your father Abraham, and make you fruitful and multiply, and may you become a multitude of people in the land whether you go. And may Elohim cause you to return to this land, the land of your fathers' dwelling, and with children, and with great riches, and with joy, and with pleasure. And Isaac finished
Can I
commanding.
can I
No,
jump in
I
real
got,
quick?
yes,
All right. Just at I'm gonna back that up. Just we at verse 29. I'm gonna back that up to 28. Read to me verse 28. Just
28
the
says,
first sentence.
28. And may El Shaddai grant you
Stop
favor
right
in the
there. Stop.
side of
Stop.
the earth.
Stop right there. El Shaddai. Do y'all see that it called the mother Almighty God? That's what El Shaddai means. The feminine aspect of God. How you get Shalom, Sha'awa, Iyashawahua. Okay. And in her translation, that's the mother. Let's take John 5:37-38. No man has ever heard the Father's voice. Christ said that I come to do everything my Father did, and he didn't talk to humans. So you might talk to Jesus, but he ain't talking to you. But he did tell us he sent another comforter. And in my book, she's called Almighty God in the Greek. Reread that again, drop bombs on them. I'm going back mute. Sorry about that. I had to point that out.
Okay. And may Elohim give you your seed, the blessing of your father Abraham, and may you you fruitful and multiply, and may you become multitude. Oh, wait a minute, 28. And may El Shaddai grant you favor in the sight of the people of the earth, that you may take there a woman according to your choice, one who is good and upright in the ways of Yahuwah. And may Elohim give you unto you and your seed the blessings of your father Abraham, and make you fruitful and multiply, and may you become a multitude of people in the land wherever you go, and may Elohim cause you to return to this land, the land of your father's dwelling, and the children with great riches, and with joy, and with pleasure. And Isaac finished commanding Jacob and blessing him, and he gave him many gifts, together with silver and gold. And he sent him away, and Jacob hearkened to his father and mother. He kissed them and arose and went to Pandanaram. And Jacob was 77 years old when he went out from the land of Canaan, from Beersheba. And when Jacob went away to go to Haran, Esau called unto his son Eliphaz, and secretly spoke unto him, saying, Now hasten, take your sword in your hand, and pursue Jacob, and pass before him in the road, and lurk for him, and slay him with your sword in one of the mountains, and take all the belongings to him, and come back. And Eliphaz, the son of Esau, was an active man, an expert with a bow, as his father had taught him. And he was a noted hunter in the field and a valiant man. And Eliphaz did as his father had commanded him. And Eliphaz was at that time 13 years old. And Eliphaz rose up and went and took 10 of his mother's brothers with him and pursued Jacob. And he closely followed Jacob, and he lurked for him in the borders of the land of Canaan, and opposite to the city of Shechem. And and Jacob saw Eliphaz and his men pursuing him, and Jacob stood still in the place in which he was going in order to know what this was, and he did not know the thing. And Eliphaz drew his sword, and he went on advancing, and his men toward Jacob. And Jacob said unto them, what is this? What is to do with you that you have come hither? And what does it mean that you pursue with your swords? And Eliphaz came near to Jacob, and he answered and said unto him, this did my father command. And now, therefore, I will not deviate from the orders which my father gave me. And when Jacob saw that Esau had spoken to Eliphaz to implore force, Jacob then approached and supplicated Eliphaz and his men, and saying to them, behold, all that I have, and which my father and mother gave unto me, that take unto you and go with from me. And do not slay me, and may this thing be accounted unto you a righteousness. And Yahuwah caused Jacob to find favor in the sight of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, and his men, and they hearkened to the voice of Jacob, and they did not put him to death. And Eliphaz said his men took all the belongings to Jacob, together with the silver and gold that he had brought with him from Beersheba, and they left him nothing. And Eliphaz and his men went away from him, and they returned to Esau to Beersheba, and they told him all that had occurred with Jacob, and they gave him all that they had taken from Jacob. And Esau was indignant at Eliphaz his son, and at his men that were with him, because they had not put Jacob to death. And they answered and said unto Esau, because Jacob supplied, supplicated us in this manner, not to slay him. Our pity was excited toward him, and we took all belongings to him and brought it unto you. And Esau took all the silver and gold which Eliphaz had taken from Jacob, and he put them by his house. And at that time, when Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and had commanded him, saying, you shall not take a woman from amongst the daughters of Canaan, and that the daughters of Canaan were bad in the sight of Isaac and Rachel. And when he went to the house of Ishmael, his uncle, and in addition to his other women, he took Machlah, the daughter of Ishmael, and the sister of Nahor for a woman. Now I'm going to stop there at chapter 30. Until next time. And this is the book of Jasher. I'm reading in the Bible of the Sefer.